Alrighty, turn 15, December 21st, 1941. Let's see if anything exciting happens today. We got a free base up in Burma. Once again, a not very useful base. Why can't we get useful bases? Alright, no night action looks like. Dropping off some troops. Softening up the enemy here at Kavieng. More troops and supplies going ashore. Daytime naval movement. There's no Allied ships at Kobe. I mean, well, not Kobe, but Yoko. There's none. No. Alright. Hey, bad weather off the start. Alright. Here we go. Airfield run at Bataan. Also looking for runway hits so they slow down or stop the fort building completely. But supply hits are also good because, well, they destroyed supply. .43 in the heavy rain. Wow. That is outstanding performance by those planes. Follow-up raid by 20 more Bettys. Getting a bunch of supply depot hits. $12 more and more supply hits. Now I'm going to do the same at Clark. Not much AA at Clark at all. He must have all his AA in Bataan. I wish those planes were actually there. Bomb them. Alright, 53 hits at Clark in heavy cloud. That'll work. Another Bataan raid. Can skip this one. 11 more hits in the heavy rain. This is some attack support here, ground support. We're attacking at Georgetown this turn. That's some good damage. Bombing Chinese troops on the move. Hopefully they're in move mode. They might have been. It's hard to say. Just saying hi to some troops in Clark to start to soften them up. More ground support at Georgetown. We have air superiority over Malaya and the Philippines for that matter, so I want to start bombing these troops so we can try to speed up our ground offensive. Alright, 60 seconds. Is there a second one there? No, only got one. Severe storms. Army sitting in Wuchao, Army headquarters, and a base force, and that's it at the moment. Core. I am honestly surprised Dean hasn't brought the ABG into China and set up some sort of cap trap over some of these fleeing troops. I mean, he can definitely clean out some bombers. Early on, Japan is very short on all aircraft. I'm just very surprised this isn't happening. I'm not complaining, because I'll definitely take whatever. But I'm just surprised it hasn't happened. Hey, there's a torpedo. 2 torpedo hits. Need to make a note on something here. Get over to my notes. Alright, here we go. Just the air against naval seems to be very fast. I want to check the speed in the settings in case Dean changed it. Because those settings are persistent between players, so if one person changes it, it affects them both. I just want to make sure I have my mind set. Enemy carriers! Oh no! Wait, those are my carriers. Alright, bombing airfield at Singapore. Got 36 Nels going in. Let's see how much damage we take. I want to say these guys are at 8 or 10,000 feet. Got 9 damage. 10,000 feet. 18 airbase hits. Not bad. Bombing Johor Bahru. Quite a bit of AA here too. The only good thing about that is when I take this base and all those AA units retreat, they'll leave all their guns behind and they'll become useless. So I lost 1 Betty, but got 49 hits on the airfield, on the runways. That is nice. You know, try to make sure those guys always have airfield damage so they can't build forts. You don't want Singapore to have like level 5, level 6 forts when you get there. That will be it's a hard enough nut to crack as it is. You don't need the super high forts. Hey, there's a good hit. Sallies are the mainstay of the Japanese Army Air Force. They're decent bombers. I mean, they're no B-17, but they carry, I believe, 4 Yep, 4 250K, so basically 4 500-pound bombs. They're not super fast, they don't have any armor, which is why the upgrade to the Helen is very important. The Helen brings armor, and I believe a little more speed. But the armor is the important part. Because as the game progresses, the Allied flak, AA, whatever your term you want to use for it, does nothing but get more of it and more powerful. So you need that armor for your bombers and pilots to survive. More supplies being dumped off. Alright, overall, good. Well, nope, nothing in the afternoon there. Alright, here we go. We should take this with no problem. A good chance to earn some experience for these units. I should have put the tanks on pursuit. Surrender, surrender, surrender. Oh, it doesn't matter. None of them, they didn't go anywhere. They all surrendered. All right. We got 34 wounded, 1,450 dead and captured, and I believe two ships were scuttled in the port. All right. Georgetown is ours. Kuala Lumpur is going to go with no issue. There's no one there to defend it. Just dot base on the rail. Next stop will be Temulo. I'm trying to crush this unit here. Yes, they surrendered. Good. I didn't necessarily want to chase them all the way off the road and stop in every hex to fight them. So I did a shock attack, hoping that would work, and it did. It crushed them. 210 casualties. Another unit wiped out. Chen Chao is mine. No one home. I'll have to make sure we check to see what kind of damage is done to the economic facilities, as I like to call them. You know, the resources, industry, whatever's there. Oh, I may not have brought enough firepower here. This should be a no contest. Yep. And they surrendered, alright. How many men is that? Another 231. Alright. Other than one failed attack, everything else went fine. Building up bases. We'll process through the rest of the turn here. And then after a couple moments, we'll go into the aftermath. We'll discuss what happened and look at some stats. There's my nice new tanker. Alrighty. Be back in a moment or two to go over the aftermath. Alrighty, well, not a bad turn. We did some good damage in the air, captured some more bases. Overall, the war is progressing as we wanted to. Basically, there's no wrong progression. I am by far not the quickest person to expand. There are people who, I mean, they would be everywhere already. I don't know what their gift is, how much time they spend, but they are just very good at the initial expansion. And that I am a little slow. I'm not super aggressive, but I get the job done. Like I've said before, I am more of an economic, logistics, and defensive person. So I don't go crazy with expansions. I go out and get the normal Japanese expansion, and then I worry about stuff. Then sometimes I throw in a little extra. I might take like Darwin or the Aleutians. It all depends on how the game's going, how I feel, how confident I feel. I can read my opponent. So in this case, Dean. I know very little about him other than people say he's aggressive. So I've got to be a little bit careful. I would love to get into a carrier fight with him in early 42, while I still have, more carriers, more planes, and better planes. But we will see what happens. So let's go ahead and get into the aftermath here. Let's start with the intelligence screen. I'm up over 4,000 points now. They're down to 9,500. That'll continue to go down until I have 10,000, 15, 20,000, and he has 2,000 or 3,000. That's just the way the game works in the early stages. Let's see, Army lost points. I'm still at 76. He's up to 720. We had several large, or not large units, but we wiped out several units this past turn, and we continue to inflict casualties on his men moving around up in China. A little bit of sunken ships going on, so forth. So we'll look at air losses first. It says 5 again, 4 for me, 1 for the Allies. The Allies lost another PBY. That is not. He must be flying them from small bases with little support or at extreme range. Or he has thousands of them and he doesn't care. I know without hitting the Pearl Harbor airfields, he probably has a ton of these. But I lost 2 Bettys, an AN and a 0. 1 Betty to flak, everything else to ops. I'm guessing I'm going to lose at least 2 pilots dead, if not 3. Hey, look at that, 2. Not many wounded so far in the war. Only a couple missing in action. You might get those back. Those might escape, their prisons. They might just be found. It varies. It's a random event. Alright, coming in, we still got 24 days for the first real air group. Let's look, not here. Let's look at my pilot pools. As usual, my Navy is going down steadily. That's not surprised at all. My Army is still doing pretty good. I go through a lot of Navy pilots. I think it's mostly because of the training groups I use and the float plane enlargements that I do. So I try to keep an eye on this. I have purchased additional pilots using the variants in 42 and 43, possibly 44. I don't remember without looking. But I usually buy mostly Navy, like 80, 20, 70, 30. So down, we'll see if anything sunk last turn. Oh, yep, the 2 motor launches in Georgetown were scuttled while under construction. And then this guy, we got near a turnate. My Kates found him, sunk him. That's the one, looks like the one that was moving around in the DEI. We finally got him. What do we have coming up? In 7 days, we get a sub chaser. In 8 days, we get a AMC and a sub tender. 10 days, we get a bunch of ships. Remember, guys, I'm still looking for names for these destroyers. I do not want a ton of ships called with this name, so give me some names in the Discord channel, or even leave me a comment on the video, and I'll take some of the best names or names that I like, and I will use them. Ground reinforcements, we got 6 days to a part of a naval guard, then 10 days for a bunch. Go into production. This is the shit where I live in. I do this stuff all the time. Every turn I always look at these numbers. Not so much, I don't sit here and count individual planes that are produced each turn. I do look at how much I have in the pool, whether I want to, turn some of the factories off. But I look to make sure, as I've said, nothing is looking weird. Like all of a sudden I'm not producing any vowels. What's wrong? Do I not have the HI points? Did I accidentally turn them off and forget about it? But just stuff like that. Because, errors like that are not big if you catch them soon. But if you don't notice it for a week or 2 weeks, 4 weeks, all of a sudden you run out of vowels and your carriers have no dive bombers, that's a bad problem, because it'll take you a month to get back to where you need to be. Alrighty, everything else is looking good. I still am shocked at just 21,000. I'm used to seeing 30, 14,000. That's normal, but with the extra, with the house rule that we made, where HI provides 3, it's really throwing a ton in here. Still making a bunch of support. Of course, my mines are being made every day, going into stockpiles. I'm gonna be useful on the mines. How about I use 500 mines? Oh, okay. But you gotta be careful doing with the mines, because we found out in my last game against Nomad, mines have a cap in the pools. I don't quite recall what it is, but once you hit that cap, you stop producing them. So you want to keep an eye on that. Everything else looks fine. Alrighty. Not sure what I'm doing on that ship. Come back in here where I like to hang out in the middle. Let's pull up the combat reporter. December 21st. Nothing down there. All of my ground attacks. Oh, one comment: he did not attack again at Nan Chang. Like, I think he didn't realize I had that division there, and he attacked in and kind of got spanked. So, amphibious, we landed at Vanamo and Kavieng. Just the airstrikes. He did not do any more air attacks this round, so I don't know if he stood them down and moved them. He might be playing hide and seek with a couple bomber groups. Hard to say. My wonderful signet. Let's see. Sacramento, no way. Yenin, Terrican. Alright. 47-2. That's somewhere up in freaking India. That's not gonna be anything of worth. Alright, ops report. Okay. Still flying troops around in Manchuria. Still flying I flew some base forces into my newly base from last turn Nanning, so I could put some planes there. Still transporting supplies up to Ankang. Float plane got larger. Units are taking replacements. Gotta be careful with this, because if I remember correctly, I have a new infantry squad coming online on January 1st. I advanced the 1943 IJA infantry squad up to January 1st, 4042. I've also beefed it up. For those who have looked at my expenditure, it is pretty much 50% stronger than it was. I believe it had an 18 soft attack. I added 9 points to it, may raise up to like a 27. So my troops are not only gonna have the better ones faster, they're gonna be 50% stronger. And all army troops will be able to convert to that, because I added an upgrade path for some of the restricted areas like Manchuria and China troops that did not have an upgrade path at all. They started the game with their 41 squads and they never changed them. The device number for that one, some reason I know, is 70007 in the database. That now has an upgrade path to the 43 squads. So that means all of my troops get upgraded. Also up the navals. You don't get a whole lot of naval troops, so it wasn't worth spending the points to get them any better. And there's no, I don't believe there's an upgraded naval infantry squad. So let's go and look at some troops. Oh, I want to look back at this 34th. Okay. Some troops here. Lost them during unloads, task force, sightings. Pretty much sightings, task force, you're just looking through anything that jumps out at you, anything that it looks out of the ordinary. Just got planes going back to pools, repairs, okay. Got 3 ships going back into service, including the light cruiser Kashi, who took that stupid 300-pound bomb from the DO-24 over by Malaya. Lost a pilot landing his Ann. Betty going into maintenance. Flipped Kaluta, which was on some random base up in some dot base up in Burma. Captured 4 other bases, including a couple important ones. I made base facilities increases. Port 6 is good. See, these forts are being built. Damaged aircraft, combat. Some look like this one's shown that this one sunk back on the 13th. My massive coast watcher. Hey, there's 4 ships in port at Wen Chao. I do not believe that. And my tanker, my 11,000 ton tanker arrives at Fukuoka. So we'll get that moved over to Nagasaki and get that ready. I don't have anywhere to send it yet, but once I start taking oil bases, I will have lots of places to send those tankers to start hauling oil and fuel back to Japan. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and scroll over up to Burma, see what we got. Battalion's moving. It's going to be slow. He was at 11 yesterday. He's at 15, so 4 per turn. He has 31 miles to go, so 8 days before he crosses the hex to Paypun. If I don't capture that automatically, because this is what I captured last turn. Oh, it has some resources. We will take it. I'm surprised. That means Tungu is pretty much empty of combat troops. Means all this area has no combat troops. He probably wonder if he's pulling them out of Rangoon too. That'd be a lot of political points to be able to load those Burmese troops up onto boats. But we'll get there. My attack here against that base force from Tavoy shattered them and they all surrendered, so that's good. He'll just march his way up here. The battalion here is marching south to take Murgai. We're going good here. My cavalry units showed up at 3 Pagoda Pass. I like that name. I'll probably build this up with a bunch of forts. He will continue up into Molmin, but this regiment will probably get there first. But oh well. Still unloading. Still unloading troops here. Nope, we're just unloading fuel and crap. Oh yeah, that's one of the turn 1 task forces that loads up a combat task force with fuel, because fuel is what you want to send onto ships that get shot at. Unloading. There's Georgetown. We have captured this. Some reason my game doesn't fill the bottom out for some reason. It's weird. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I gotta pull up my display controller. Let me get it out of the way, put it on the other screen, come back up, tell it to refocus it. I don't think it did. Nope. Do it again. There it goes. I don't know why it does that. Okay, all 5 light industries fine. The resources are fine to run them. The heavy industry got 1 damaged and 1 manpower. I might repair that heavy industry. I might just let it go. Got a bunch of mines there, but I'm not worried about it. It's on the wrong side of the peninsula, so I'm not going to be using that port for a long time anyways. Looks like Taiping is empty. We will roll right down the coast here and down this nice road with my tanks, all the way crushing or pushing whatever we have left in front of us. We took Kuala Lumpur as well. That has half its manpower. We won't repair it. Manpower is a waste to repair. So Malaya's moving. Nothing going on here in Sumatra or Java yet. We did not invade the southwest corner. I wanted to wait for the last task force. It is now arrived, so we will be landing at Kuching this next turn, and then Singkawang the turn after. 1, 2, 3, 4. We could hit them both. I don't know. I'll have to look at that, see if I want to move through those dot bases or not. Just more troops being moving around. That's heading back. That's heading in. He is going to Malaya with some more tanks and artillery. I'll probably just bring him right up into Costa Peru and then hop on the rail. We can just rail right around. My AK all refilled there to rearm ships. This is incoming. Air Force Battalion construction to go down into Sinkiwang. These are troops as well. Another wave for Malaya. This guy's heading back for more troops. Samoa's a pretty busy place. We're loading up, just unloading and so forth. Troops in that out of here. There's not a whole lot left that has any kind of assault value. But there's a lot of construction units in AA here, which most of this AA is going to end up in Burma. Coming down, we landed at Jesselton with a Koi. Unfortunately, doesn't seem to be strong enough to kick the Brits out of here. So we might have to bring in another unit, unfortunately. Unloading here. We're loading these troops up here. Since the base, I might send one of them up here to help take that. Otherwise, those guys are going to be free. There's enemy ships right there. Okay, I'm going to see. He was supposed to get over there farther. I wonder why he did not. Oh, well. Sometimes you just have to let things go because this is a high-level game where you tell people what to do and they kind of do it, but sometimes they just don't, and there's no reporting to tell you why. Loading up more troops. Loading up there. More supply and troop deliveries. We should be almost to Clark. Yep. Next turn we'll be moving into Clark. It will take a while yet. We're moving 5 miles at a time, but it's probably faster than going up. It is because it auto does that. So it's faster to move directly west than up and around. Guys here. 27 in a day. Yep, he'll be in the Clark tomorrow. He just unloaded. He's unloading. He's going to stay here and fix up the Manila facilities. So we can start using that. Pick up the unit here. I'll probably head down here. I'll probably head for here. Deaniks to take this base, and then of course it'll probably auto flip right as I land. This guy's coming to join the fight on the rails. He's heading back to Babel. If I'm dropping off troops here, my troops at Deaniks will be following up here and pushing these guys out of here. Deaniks does not have a garrison. Nope. So I can move right up the path onto the road and not worry about it. There's mini KB here, just kind of guarding this area, and we got that ship last turn. Babel, as normal, is loading up either supplies, fuel, men, whatever needs to be heading out into the DEI. We will take Vanamo this next turn. We should take Kavieng. I got a special naval light force here. 60 assault strength should be plenty to take this. I don't think there's no more. I'll have to unload some more supplies. And then of course I have supplies going to Manus because they're complaining. Then I have a bunch of troops coming down here for the invasion of like Rabaul. Rabaul should fall in the next couple turns. That's a nice airfield there. It's only level 3, but we'll get that built up real quick, and that'll give me bring in some Bettys or Nels and air headquarters with some torpedoes, and that'll give me control of this immediate area. Which the important part there is that'll enable me to start popping off all these little bases here with small task force without having to use heavy escorts or my carriers. So right now he could bring his 3 or 4 carriers right up here and interfere, which is why I have my carriers in the area. But once I get Betty's and that at Rabaul, that really reduces that threat. So okay, we're at Ocean. I'm gonna pick these troops up. We're finally unloaded at Tarawa. Truck is still very, very active with troops and supplies moving in and out. We're at Wake, dropping off supplies. Gonna pick troops up and bring them back. Marianas are pretty good at the moment. Base forces heading south. That's good. Convoy for resources. Just got back. That fleet's almost back. Convoys here. Repositioning a bunch of merchant ships. I'm sending out some of my picket ships. I normally put 5 out here. I come out here and I draw like a line going from northeast to southwest. Several hexes apart of these guys, and they just sit here. And then I replace them. I basically must run a 5 ship on patrol, and then like 6 or 7 back in the port to support them. Because sometimes a sub will find them and damage them, or just regular wear and tear. And then as you're getting low on fuel, I send the next 5 out and then replace them. This is my early warning pickets. Some Allied players think that's gamey. Japan did that historically. Put fishing boats out in the middle of the North Pacific. Not only to fish, but the real point they were putting out there for was early warning for carrier raids. If anyone watched I think it was the Midway show, or they discussed the Doolittle raid. Doolittle's raid came over one of these fishing picket boats. They sunk it real quick, but they were discovered and they had to launch the planes early. So that's kind of where I got that idea from. So that's what I do. Now up in China, it's starting to get interesting now that I got men moving places. We took Nanning last turn, and I'm going to start heading in east to push these guys. It does look like he has not many though. 4 units, only 15,000 troops. See, there's 3 units here with 10,000 troops, and I know the 1 unit is mauled. The 52nd Chinese Corps, I pushed it out, put right here. I pushed it out of here, pushed it out of here, pushed it out. I've crushed it 3 times. There can't be a whole lot left. So I'll be bombing here every day, try to figure out what's sitting here to see if my regiments can take it or not. But that would be huge to take Lu Chao. That gives me the whole end here, gives me sitting on the rail, and that really opens up all of the rail lines. Because I can not only go this way into Guilin, I could go up the road to Tuyuan and penetrate much farther into China. He has to defend this. If he only has 4 units here, he's not defending it very, very hard yet. Might be where these guys are heading. So there's my regiment heading to Wenchao to take it. I'm still convinced there's no one there. I'm still bombing this guy. We took Chen Chao. Yep. Half damage. Oh wow, the resources are only got half of them, and only half the light industry. I don't like repairing that kind of stuff. Now, if it was heavy industry, I might repair because I get 3 supply per heavy industry out of them. But lights, you only get 1. It's just not worth it. He still only has 2. 1 unit here. I believe it's the one I pushed out. Oh no, there wasn't anyone here. I'll probably send a couple tanks here, and the rest will go up to Loyang to push him out of there. I'm hoping when he retreats to the south, because that's the way I want to go, and then I can keep on pushing him right over here to Nanyang. But everything looking good. Let's take a look at Ankang, where we at. 300 tons of supplies. Do we have enough? Okay. The men I have there have enough supplies for several days. and we have 300 and some extra. I still don't like these guys being here. I don't want to march them out because they won't make it on the march. But all right, we're getting into a better position here. I might start flying more of that regiment in, as well as supplies. We'll have to see how it goes. All right, that's pretty much everything for the turn. As normal, if you have any questions, come over to the Discord channel, hop in my channel, ask away. If you like my videos, like watching them, you like me doing them, go ahead and hit a like on them. But if you really do like them and you enjoy watching them, go ahead and subscribe. All right, guys. Until next turn, you guys have a good day, and I'll talk to you later.